Hi everyone, my name is Juanita and I'm with HOA Community Solutions, and today I'd like to tell you a little bit about some changes to Washington laws that are influencing how we hold budget meetings going forward. The new act is called WUCIOA, and it stands for the Washington Uniform Common Interest Ownership Act. The full text of WUCIOA applies to all associations that were built after July 1st of 2018. However, the budgeting section of WUCIOA applies to all associations. So regardless of whether you're a new act condo, an old act condo, a homeowners association that was built many years ago, or a brand new development, the budgeting portion applies to all of us. Now, I'd like to think that the people that were involved in putting WUCIOA together and writing this were really focused on dealing with an issue and a problem that we see a lot in the industry: apathy of homeowners. How many times have we tried to have an annual meeting but couldn't because of a lack of participation? Our company has been in business over 12 years now, and homeowner apathy is one of our biggest challenges. When the board puts forward a great idea and everyone who attends the meeting is supportive, but you can't move your ideas forward because you simply don't have enough support from your homeowners, it really is disappointing. And this can make conducting business for your community extremely difficult. Without a quorum, you can't take any votes, which means you cannot elect new board members, and you can't do simple things like accept your financials or even accept the previous year's minutes. We've seen board members that have served multiple terms because while there may be people coming to the meetings, there weren't enough to fully go through the election process and elect new board members. Under WUCIOA, for the purpose of budgeting, no quorum is needed to pass your budget. As long as you follow the steps outlined in WUCIOA, which we have a form on our website that you can download and print out and make sure that you follow all the notice requirements. As long as you follow those requirements, you can have no one show up to your meeting and your budget will pass. The law states that no quorum is needed, and unless a majority of all lot owners attend the meeting and vote no on the budget, your budget will be considered ratified. Now, WUCIOA applies to both your regular budget, so your general assessment for the year, but it also applies to special assessments. So if you have an urgent situation where you maybe need to do a special assessment for a roofing repair or some sort of major assessment, the same WUCIOA rules would apply. You would have to get proper notice, send out that notice to all of your homeowners, and then follow the steps that you'll find in the handout. The good news is for associations that are in dire need of making some changes, making repairs, but they've been unable to get homeowner involvement, now you can actually get some things done. Now, the news that no quorum is required can be quite shocking to your homeowners. So for the sake of transparency, we recommend that you separate your budget ratification meeting from your annual meeting. Now you might wonder why, but we feel it's important that you clearly explain to your homeowners that under WUCIOA, unless a majority of all unit owners attend the meeting and vote no, the budget is going to be ratified. The language in WUCIOA supersedes the language in your covenants and your governing documents. So if you've been limited by your governing documents in the past, sometimes it requires a supermajority to pass an increase in the assessments, or it might limit your assessment increase to 3% or 5%. None of that supersedes WUCIOA. So WUCIOA removes those limitations, and we feel it's really important that you let your homeowners know that the budget guidelines have changed in the state of Washington, and that they understand if they don't show up and they don't participate, that they're definitely going to be left out of the process. The silent majority is not going to have the control under this law any longer. So I'm not an advocate for wasting money on extra postage and extra mailings. So if it makes good sense for you to do your budget ratification on the same day and perhaps even within minutes of your annual meeting, We are very supportive of that. You can put your notice in the same mailing. You can put your notice of the two meetings on the same sheet of paper. But we do recommend that you treat them as two separate meetings, and I'll tell you why. As I said, you really want your homeowners to understand the transparency and that you're not trying to pull the wool over their eyes or pass something without a lawful quorum. So holding your budget meeting, perhaps say 6 p.m., you put on your notice that your budget ratification meeting will be at 6 p.m. and that you expect it to last 10 or 15 minutes, and it will be followed with the annual meeting at 6:15 p.m. That way you can conduct your budget meeting. Even if no one's there, you can have your budget passed. And even if no one shows up, if it's just the board that's present, you still want to have minutes from your budget meeting to show that you went through the process properly and that the budget was ratified. Then let's say that a handful of homeowners do show up. You've passed your budget, but you can't conduct your annual meeting. That way you can adjourn your budget meeting, and then you can explain to them that you really can't call a meeting to order for the annual meeting because you don't have the necessary quorum. So you would have minutes for your budget meeting in that instance, but if you did not have a quorum and you couldn't vote on anything, then you would have no minutes from the annual meeting because the meeting wasn't held. You couldn't really call it to order without having a quorum present. Well, there you have it. I hope, as always, you found this information helpful. And don't forget to go to our website and download the handout about how to give proper notice for your budget meeting. And HOA Community Solutions is working on trying to find solutions to overcome homeowner apathy. So in the not too distant future, I could see us having online meetings and online voting. Imagine conducting your annual meeting from the comfort of your own home while your neighbors are sitting at home on their sofas and able to participate. It's not that far off, and in the meantime, lead on.